morning, friends, collaborators, and sanitation economy pioneers. At this summit, get ready to experience the future. Sanitation reimagined and revalued. It's World Toilet Day. Welcome everyone on World Toilet Day. And each November 19th, the world reflects on the state of the world's sanitation. It's a very special opportunity to be sharing this day with all of you, our global network of pioneering businesses, governments, investors, as we unveil the opportunities of the sanitation economy that we've been working on over the last 4 years, and to launch our next 5-year strategy with a sunset clause to scale up the sanitation economy by 2025. I'd like to take a moment to thank those who've made all of this possible, our sponsors and members. Our steering committee members, who you see on the screen, have really brought the sanitation economy to life, and of course are the founders of the Toilet Board Coalition. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our sponsors of this particular event, who have made all of this possible and allowed many of you to get here. So thank you very much. It's great to be in India at this moment of remarkable progress. I get so much energy every time I come here, especially in the honeymoon of the achievements of the Swachh Bharat mission and the launch of the Jal Shakti ministry. We're especially proud to be here in the world's first smart sanitation city. And we heard last night from the Smart City CEO a few teasers of what you're going to see in this summit. You're going to experience the first smart sanitation city at this summit. The declaration of 100% ODF India, October 2nd, 2019, is an inspirational model for the world on how transformation can happen with speed and scale. This is exactly the kind of transformation and ambition levels that we need. The investment the government of India has made in ending open defecation and ensuring access to sanitation for all can also be returnable capital. In addition to a revolutionary behavior change campaign, the Swachh Bharat mission has also been a monumental market-building campaign, stimulating many new industries, innovation, entrepreneurship, and paving the way for growth of new sectors and supply chains in the sanitation economy. You'll hear from many of these businesses at this summit. In 2017, the Toilet Board Coalition estimated that the sanitation economy could be worth $62 billion in terms of market, the market for the sanitation economy annually by 2021, creating many new jobs and reducing health and environmental costs while creating savings for households. At this summit, we will also announce the launch of our first local market chapter, the TBC's India chapter, which aims to facilitate these opportunities for more local businesses to engage in the sanitation economy and to support more innovative business solutions to unlock this $62 billion growth opportunity. India has shown that large-scale transformation is possible with speed and scale. The world is undergoing massive transformations. Sanitation systems cannot be left behind out of this picture. The sanitation economy is a business vision for transformation. It has the potential to transform the economics of sanitation from unaffordable public costs into sustainable and resilient marketplaces of business innovation and opportunity. Sanitation could just be one of the most exciting areas to be working in today. And that's because the opportunities to address an urgent global challenge, a crisis in human dignity, and create new business opportunities really don't come along very often. The culmination of our work at the Toilet Board Coalition over the last 4 years points to an increasingly compelling business and economic case for this transformation. The challenges have been clear, and they've been recognized by many. Half the world's population still lack access to safely managed sanitation, and increasing urbanization is aggravating sanitation issues, environmental degradation, and public health. In low-income economies, over half the fecal sludge produced is not safely managed, and in some cities that number can rise to 97%. In terms of cost, sanitation has come at a very high cost to governments and society. Current systems are unaffordable. The business and economic case for sanitation is what has been unclear until now. Reimagining sanitation systems can yield new benefits for business and society. This is a unique gathering of business leaders bringing new solutions for sanitation, the first ever in the world bringing all of these solutions together. You are here because you see market opportunities, and we're going to hear from all of you at this summit. We're launching three new reports at the summit, which outline the business case for scaling up the sanitation economy. The first one is called Scaling Up the Sanitation Economy, 2020 to 2025, the sanitation economy at city scale, and the sanitation economy at sector scale. And you're going to hear more detail of our findings throughout these next couple of days. Our new research, based on sanitation economy business approaches available today, shows that providing access to sanitation via the sanitation economy has the potential to convert the cost of a toilet from about $200 a person to a net value of $10 per person. That sanitation economy approaches, when applied to communities, employees, and cities of 1 million people, can unlock $130 million in new value per year and stimulate $75 million in commercial investment. 1 million people can generate 500,000 tons of toilet resources, which can be converted into $7 million of value in renewable energy or $20 million in value in organic fertilizer. In a city of about 4 million people, such as Pune, smart sanitation approaches can yield up to $58 million in annual revenues and $2 billion in liters of toilet resources that can be converted into an estimated market of $42 million per year in reused products. This is all research that you'll find in the reports outside. And all of this at a lower cost to governments. And here's where the business case gets even stronger. Sanitation can be a net contributor to the SDGs. Historically, sanitation has been a development issue with expectations for solutions falling to governments and the NGO community. In many businesses, WASH, water, sanitation, and hygiene, where sanitation often sits within a company, has been a corporate affairs issue rather than an operational issue or a consideration for business growth. In 2019, we are not only asking how businesses can bring new solutions to sanitation, we're also asking how sanitation can bring new solutions across business operations and sectors and be a net contributor to many critical sustainable development issues such as climate change, food security, health, human rights, and the empowerment of women and girls. Sanitation reimagined as a sanitation economy is no longer an access and waste story alone. In 2019, sanitation is a human rights story, it's a resource story, it's a data story, and a consumer story, all critical for addressing material business risks and critical for future business growth in tomorrow's markets today. And here's where it gets really interesting. Sanitation needs to be an integral part of every company's sustainability agenda. Companies across sectors have the responsibility to provide safely managed sanitation to their employees throughout their supply chains and in communities where they operate. And in doing so, companies can have significant effect on SDG 6. Businesses in agricultural sectors and manufacturing sectors are facing specific risks that can be turned into business opportunities with sanitation economy approaches. And we have many businesses in this room from these sectors whose eyes have been open to these opportunities, and we hope that you'll have a chance to connect. As water, energy, and nutrients become increasingly constrained for businesses globally, sanitation systems become new reservoirs of renewable resources, materials, and data. Toilet resources are one of the only resources that increase with population growth. Toilet resources, the toilet resources of our current population amount to 3.8 trillion liters of a renewable resource per year. This is new resource that we haven't been using that contain assets that are constrained for all of us. We have developed this calculator, which can help companies, cities, and communities determine which toilet technologies can yield the most relevant resources for their operations based on the number of people contributing toilet resources to a particular system. This calculator is available for you to use at this summit on our Sanitation Economy website and here in this room on that monitor. And when you use the toilet at this summit, we will tell you how many resources have been generated from your visit. As we said, at this conference, you're going to experience the future. We've been working in the tea sector for the past 2 years with pioneering companies applying sanitation economy approaches to their plantation operations. As an illustrative example, 15.6 million people globally work in tea plantations. These people produce, with their families, 33 billion liters of toilet resources per year. With today's technologies, can be converted into significant amounts of biofuel, biogas, compost, water, and proteins. Businesses can then choose, using the calculator, the optimal solutions for their context, knowing what type of outputs that they can get. At this summit, some of the food that you are eating has been grown with compost derived from toilet resources. Some of the water for your tea has been heated using fuel derived from toilet resources. How do you feel? Do you feel the same or different? What do you accept or not accept, and why? Data. Digital technologies and data are opening up new ways to rethink new value streams that can be derived from sanitation. Mapping and monitoring toilets, treatment, and health via smart sanitation city control centers creates new sanitation intelligence to translate sanitation needs into targeted solutions and new value creation. New data on public and community toilet usage, wastewater and sewage quality, and disease circulation can lead to significant savings in sanitation management and health costs in cities, and we heard this from Dr. Jack Tapp last night. You will see, making this data transparent and enables an open innovation platform for businesses and innovators to provide new solutions that will improve the lives of billions of cities. You'll see more on this afternoon, including available technologies and the Smart Sanitation City roadmap on our visit to the Smart City Control Center. The green markers on this map are Pune's sewage treatment plants. The markers on this map are Pune's public and community toilets. When you click on each marker, related data is revealed, including usage, environmental quality, and biomarkers for disease. The consumer story. We had a nice presentation from Madhu Rao last night on the importance of the consumer in our journey. And this is exactly what we found. Many really interesting new business models have uncovered a new consumer space in sanitation. Public toilets are becoming new sanitation centers, addressing many basic needs, including laundry, feminine hygiene, digital connectivity, and more. We've been working on a 5-star public toilet model based on consumer expectations of the standards public toilets should uphold, and involving a lot of these new technologies and learnings. How would users rate your toilet on TripAdvisor? We will seek your input on this new standard at this conference. This is an innovative public toilet. It's a business model for sanitation centers for women here in Pune, and you may have used it last night during our opening ceremony, and if not, you will have another opportunity in this conference. The power of data. We've been working with CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, on different data visualization possibilities for sanitation. We've mapped our global network of sanitation business solutions by sanitation economy solution, by geography, by size, and more. We can leverage the power of data to make finding available solutions easier for businesses, governments, and even communities. We've brought you all here to show you the solutions, and when you leave, we want you to be able to find them. This cluster is our global database of sanitation economy businesses mapped by economy: the toilet economy, the circular sanitation economy, and the smart sanitation economy. The lines represent different correlations between businesses. With this map, we can also isolate specific types of business models from each economy. Here we're highlighting the toilet economy businesses mapped within the correlations against the other economies. We can also break it down by geography. This circle represents countries and cities. The blue dots are countries and the red dots are cities. The size of the dot is correlated to how many businesses can be found within that geography. This is India and India's cities. And this is Pune and the businesses in the sanitation economy operating here in Pune. This came out of questions that were continually asked from businesses when they start to understand and see the opportunities of the sanitation economy. They want to implement them in their businesses and they want to know where they can find service providers. We're trying to make that easier. In 2015, the businesses in the sanitary ware and hygiene product sectors were asking, how can business provide solutions to the global sanitation crisis? We had two main questions. Are there commercially viable business models to provide access to sanitation to the world's most vulnerable? And is there new value in sanitation systems for business that would justify bigger investments in sanitation access? We're happy to say, and we're here today because the answers to these questions have been yes and yes. In 2016, we created the Toilet Accelerator Program, through which we have supported 19 new business models, innovating and building sanitation economy solutions, and which are now commercially viable and ready for scale. You can see and meet these businesses and 50 more from across our global network on display at our Sanitation Economy Marketplace. They include household and public toilet models, health and hygiene products for low-income markets, toilet resource to water, energy, and compost models, and digital technologies for toilets and treatment. 2016 to 2019, we have worked with our partners at EY to understand what makes different models commercially viable. We've done this to invite replication and scale of these models, and this report will be available by the end of the year. To reach scale and transform the system, we need to connect solutions across the sanitation economies for a compounded value result. The numbers that you saw earlier are based on a compounded value result. This is sanitation. Sanitation reimagined and revalued in our theory of change. In the sanitation economy, the toilet will play a very different role in society. Toilets that enable and capture resources and data will create the value generation needed to enable the cost recovery and revenue generation to justify investments in more improved sanitation systems that are sustainable, dynamic, and resilient. This is the transformation. At this summit, we're launching our new strategy, 2020 to 2025, which will focus on scale. And we see three pathways to scale based on our work: through cities, through sectors, and through standards. This is what we need to focus on in the next 5 years. Cities are growing at unprecedented rates, and all citizens will require access to safely managed sanitation. Applying smart sanitation approaches can help cities to establish sanitation intelligence through smart public toilets, smart treatment, and smart health. In sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing employ millions of people in economies currently without access to safely managed sanitation, and where it's been difficult also for business. Establishing circular sanitation as a blueprint for sustainable and efficient business operations can provide access to sanitation for millions of people, provide access to resources, and address health risks for workers and environmental degradation in communities where businesses operate. Establishing new standards for decentralized public and community toilets can empower cities and facilities with lower cost, faster implementation of sanitation and, for growing populations and workers. Sanitation for the safe use of toilet resources and the regeneration of water, energy, and nutrients can transform the economics of sanitation from cost to value. Standards for the use of data from sanitation systems can unlock new sanitation intelligence to ensure sanitation access, more efficient sanitation system management, and information about human health and behavior. We are seeking at this summit project partners in each of these areas to join up efforts that will move us faster to scale with more robust solutions. On Thursday, we want to announce with you these partnerships. The TBC is making bold commitments 2020 to 2025 to facilitate the creation of vibrant ecosystems for business innovation and the sanitation economy solution pipeline. The momentum is building. As you can see here, there are already many businesses innovating in sanitation. In 2020, we're launching new projects and partnerships for scale. With our corporate members and network of innovators, we will launch a number of projects to demonstrate scale for at least 1 million people, serving at least 1 million people, multiple projects. With USAID and local country partners, we will focus on key local markets, expanding our local chapters model, bringing the accelerator program to specific local contexts to focus on local projects and priorities. We will start with South Africa and Indonesia in 2020. With Synteo, we will expand our corporate leadership and engagement program to 10 new sectors to leverage new expertise and bring new solutions, creating more demand for sanitation economy solutions. Via our Toilet Board Coalition Investor Forum and Investor Review Committee, we will facilitate and support the creation of innovative investment mechanisms for the financing of the sanitation economy and more efficient access to finance for entrepreneurs. Our vision for 2025. Knowing what we know now, what would it take to change the global default of flush toilets, pit latrines, and costly treatment infrastructure into a global sanitation economy? By 2025, what if all cities, all businesses, no matter their size or location, set the goal to provide 100% access to 5-star sanitation, reuse 100% of the waste generated, toilet resources rather, generated from that sanitation, and share monitoring data to global monitoring systems to ensure continuous improvements. And that sanitation is globally accepted as a human right that helps to meet water positive, carbon positive, and other sustainable business targets. We can dare to dream, but we can also dare to implement. We can change the default. Global businesses have the opportunity to raise the bar and implement sanitation economy approaches across their businesses and supply chains. The sanitation sector is rightly focused on households, but we believe that in addition, a focus on workers and new business value from the sanitation economy approaches across global and local operations will encourage innovation and accelerate scale. None of this would have been possible without the business leaders and pioneers in this room who have dared to get to yes. We are now challenging all of you, our partners, experts, fellow businesses, governments, investors, to stop at nothing less than mainstreaming the sanitation economy 2020 to 2025. And in doing so, transforming sanitation into significant benefits for business and society. This summit is our call to action for the business, investment, and government leaders in this room to take your leadership to new levels, be more ambitious, knowing that what we once thought was impossible is achievable with this new business case. Let us leave this summit with clear plans to scale up the sanitation economy by 2025. Thank you.